Good morning you guys, it's Karen, and I thought I would do a different type of video that I might do these regularly. Let me know if they are useful to you. But whilst I've done my skincare routine for you guys, I've showed you morning and evening skincare routine, and I've talked about what ingredients I use. So I'm telling you that I'm using some kind of Bakuchiol, that I'm using a micellar water, that I'm using some kind of night cream. I'm always using different products and trying different products and different combinations. If I run out of one thing, I might use something else instead. And so I thought if I show you what products I'm loving at the moment and what I'm using at the moment, that would talk more about the products and let you see more of what I'm actually using. So starting in the morning, the first thing I do is use my Belei micellar water. So this is the one that I'm loving the most. This one doesn't feel like it leaves any residue. It's really soothing to put this over your eyes and take away any kind of, you know, anything from the night time, any kind of residue from your makeup remover the night before. It just feels really, really nice. So I use that, and I use that all over my face. And I then am currently using this. Now, I often use some kind of vitamin C, normally an ethylated vitamin C, but I don't have any vitamin C at the moment, and so I thought it was a good time to use up some products that I've got. So I've got this, and I'm using a different product in the evening. So this one is the Versed On The Rise Firming Serum, and I noticed that Versed are now in Boots. I couldn't believe it when I saw it actually on the shelves in a large Boots, so that was really exciting. So this is On The Rise Firming Serum, and this is peptides. So let me show you. I'm nearly out of it actually. I've been using it for a while, but it's just your typical kind of serum, but it is lovely and smooth and silky. It doesn't ball up under skincare, feels really nice, sits really well under everything else. Really, really enjoying this. So that's a possible repurchase for me, but I do really like using an ethylated ascorbic acid, so that's probably what I will buy next to use in the morning if I've got nothing else to use up. But I would use this again, I'd probably use it in the evening. So I use that, and then after that I'm using the BI Day Defense. So this is the one that you guys were asking, somebody was asking how long it takes to dry down, and it's the one that I was saying in that recent video about sunscreens that I think everybody will love this. I really do. The only people that might not like it is if you've got super oily skin, because it doesn't dry down matte. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily dries down fully, but I put my makeup on after it almost as soon as this is on, and I have no problem with my makeup whatsoever. It sits really well on top of this. It doesn't affect my foundation whatsoever. So yeah, that's the full morning skincare routine at the moment is that. Then in the evening, the way I've been taking off my makeup is with this. This is one of those, it's actually mixed up where I grabbed a hold of it, but it's half oil and half liquid, and you just shake it, and you can see how much I've used of this since getting it. I really like this. It's the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Oil Infused Cleansing Water. So this is what I go in sort of first off, if you like, and I take off all my eye makeup or my face makeup. This just takes my eye makeup off in a few swipes. It is really, really good. There's some adverts on TV that I've seen for, I think it was for a simple eye makeup remover that I had tried years ago, and they actually show you like with makeup on, and then they go like that and there's no makeup, and I thought it just doesn't work like this, but this really does. It just seems to take everything off. So I go over my whole face and take as much as I can off with this, and I then follow again with the micellar water, the Belei micellar water, and I then have been using this. This is the Versed Weekend Glow Brightening Solution. It's one of those with a pump like so, and you just put your cotton pad on and press down, and so I just go over my face with that. And I've also been able to go over my neck with this, which is kind of unusual. I can't always use acid solutions on my neck. This is a 4-acid solution. It has azelaic acid, niacinamide, lactic acid and glycolic acid in it. Actually, I'm surprised with it having azelaic acid that it doesn't irritate me, because I have used a few azelaic acid products that have, but it doesn't cause me any irritation, but just I like the idea of, you know, sort of rebalancing the pH, etc. So I put that on, and I then wait for about 5 minutes. This, by the way, would probably be a repurchase, but I've got one other to use up from Glossier that I bought that is another kind of acid toner, and I think there's probably other ones I want to try, but it is one that I would consider repurchasing. So once I've waited for 5 minutes, I'm currently using this where I was using a peptide. This is the Revolution 10% niacinamide plus 1% zinc. I was attracted to this because of the zinc, because I have had a few breakouts lately. But also because this was on sale in Boots. It was, I think it was £3.99 instead of the usual £9.99. So I hope that's not because it's, you know, going to be discontinued. So I thought the fact that it was a niacinamide was interesting, because I do usually use the powder. I've used the powder a lot from The Ordinary, and I add that into my peptides. So I could do that in the morning, you know, I could add the niacinamide into that peptide that I'm using. But I wanted to try this serum, being as it was on sale, and it's really, really nice. It's one of the few niacinamides that doesn't pill on me. I feel like there was one other, maybe it was the Inky List one, but every niacin serum that I have tried has balled up on my skin and not worked well with any of my other skincare, but this one works wonderfully, and none of my skincare has been balling up, and it feels so lovely. It's not that sort of watery hyaluronic acid serum feel. I don't like that, you know, where it just feels like you're putting water on your face. This feels silky and lovely to put on. So I'm really enjoying that, but it was really nice getting it for £3.99 as well. After that, I have been using a product that I haven't spoke about yet, which is this. This is the Geek and Gorgeous A-Game, and this is a 0.1% Retinal serum, so it's got retinaldehyde in it. I spoke about retinaldehyde before being a great ingredient that I love. You know, retinol freaks my skin out and it reacts, although I can use things. I've been using, what had I been using? I was using the Paula's Choice Bakuchiol and retinol. It was only a tiny amount, it was 0.3. I've yet to use the Versed retinol and Bakuchiol, but that one's encapsulated, so hopefully it'll be all right. So although I like retinol as an ingredient, it does irritate my skin. I like tretinoin as an ingredient. I think it's you know, it's well researched, etc. But I didn't like how dry my skin constantly was. You know, after using it for more than a year, after starting slowly and building up and all of that, I still had very dry skin and my foundation didn't look good. I'm still using a tiny amount of tretinoin up under my right eyebrow just to do that kind of test that I talked about a little while ago. But I thought I would be happy to use Retinal. I've used the Avene range, which had Retinal in it, and I also did a review on the Decay Naked. I really enjoyed that, but it was uber expensive, and this wasn't. I can't remember the exact price, but I will put it on the screen. It did come from somewhere in Europe, and I can't remember where now. Great shipping rate though. I literally got it like either the next day or the day after. It was very, very quick, and I like this. So that's what it looks like. And the reason that it's bright yellow is because Retinal is bright yellow, but it's just a really nice serum. You know, it goes on lovely. It does stain your skin. I haven't noticed it staining my sheets or pillowcases as yet, but I know it stains my skin because in the morning when I use my micellar water, there's yellow colour coming off on that. But like I said, that is the actual ingredient, is yellow. But yeah, I really like this. This is something I might well repurchase immediately, because you don't need to worry about what you're mixing this with, you know, and it's worked really well with the other things that I'm using here. So definitely a great purchase. I also bought it's a hydrating toner, and I've only used that a couple of times. I need to figure out where to fit that in or when to fit that in, you know, but I'm really enjoying that. I would highly recommend Geek and Gorgeous, and a couple of you had suggested it to me. Okay, after my Retinal, I go in with my Bakuchiol. This is by Handmade Heroes, and this is the Ultimate Bakuchiol Booster Oil. I think this is supposed to be 4% Bakuchiol. Obviously, there was a scandal over the Purito SPF, and then there was a scandal over the Herbivore Bakuchiol that I was using at the time, saying that it wasn't anywhere near I think that one was supposed to be 2%, 3%. But this one is a bit more believable because this one is in oil and it just works better with Bakuchiols. But as a product, I love it. And so I just put maybe a half a dropper in my hands, rub my hands together, and then just sort of push it into my face and then massage it all in, and it is beautiful. It's such a beautiful oil. It's one that is not too heavy, it's not too greasy, it doesn't make you feel like you're clogging up your skin. My little breakouts are hormonal for sure. They're nothing to do with what I'm putting on externally. Those kind of, if I get spots from putting stuff on externally, they're different and I can tell. This feels so hydrating, and it doesn't necessarily sink in so that you don't feel like you've got oil on, but it sinks in more than a lot of other oils, and I just am left with lovely soft feeling skin. It's really, really nice. I really like that. Whether or not I repurchase it is another thing, because it was quite expensive, because it was, I think it was from USA. It's not something that's easily available in the UK. If it were available in the UK, I think I would repurchase. And I like using oils occasionally, but what I really like about this is using an oil that has a kind of active in it, you know. After that, I've been using this Naturally Radiant Superdrug Glow Calming Overnight Mask. You may remember me showing you this in a haul. It's one of the products that I bought when I didn't have my glasses on and I didn't have time to check ingredients. As soon as I started using this, I could tell that it has fragrance in it. So it's just, this is basically to me is a night cream. It feels lovely, it smells divine, but it smells divine and you're like, okay, there's fragrance in that. But the way that I don't mind using things that have got a fragrance in, and when I say don't mind, I won't repurchase this because of the fragrance, but I want to stop being as wasteful, you know, I want to use things up where I can, is putting it on top of an oil, because it's unlikely that this will penetrate the oil. The reason I like to use something on top of an oil is just, I feel like it kind of seals the oil in, and my skin feels a little bit more, no, it doesn't feel matte, but it stops that sort of hair sticking to your skin that you get when you've put an oil on. And so that's what I've really been enjoying putting on top, and then I'm getting the lovely fragrance from it. The fragrance isn't irritating my skin, because like I said, it will kind of sit on top of the oil. But it's not a repurchase for me. So that's everything that I'm currently using skincare wise. As soon as as soon as this runs out, I'll find another night cream. As soon as this runs out, I'll have a look and see what I've got waiting to be used, and maybe come back and do this again. Like I said, if you find it useful, just to talk about what products I'm using and what I really think about them. And like I said, I'm going to do one for hair as well. And I could maybe even do one for makeup, couldn't I, if I've got any kind of makeup combinations that I'm using. That's everything for today. Let me tell you about my makeup. I have got on the IT Cosmetics Foundation Plus Skincare in 22. I used the Urban Decay Naked 3 eyeshadow palette. I used the colour called Liar. That's my favourite colour in that whole palette. On my cheeks is a Marc Jacobs blush. I think it's called Shameless, the blush range. Whether it even exists anymore, I don't know, but the colour is Outspoken. And then on my lips is the Stila liquid lipstick in Perla. And that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.